Hello, creative friends. Welcome to the Do It for the Process podcast. This podcast is designed to help creative entrepreneurs, people that like creativity, people that love art, people that are artists, wherever you fall on that scale of artist to art lover. You are so welcome here, and it's an honor to have you in this space. My name is Emily Jeffords. I am a fine artist, and I get to educate and mentor artists from all over the globe. I live in Greenville, South Carolina, and this is my podcast. Welcome. You can find my work at emilyjeffords.com and on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm beginning to play with TikTok, and it's so silly, so demure, so cutesy. This podcast episode is going to be a very vulnerable look inside of not only the collective, which is the membership that I offer to artists, but inside of my goals for 2024. I like to revisit my goals in August because, as I say in this episode, August is the moment where I've lived enough of the year to know how it's flowing and how it's going, but the chaos of the summer is settling, which can feel kind of like, okay, now I can breathe a little bit, I can recenter a little bit, I have a little bit more margin and space. What am I going to be doing with it for the rest of the year? So it's kind of my moment to say what's happening, what's working, what's not working. So this episode is, again, a look inside of the collective. I'm opening the doors to that for you so you can just kind of see inside how this feels. Of course, the collective members get to watch this. It's a video, but you get to hear it, which is pretty cool. So again, this is private content for the collective members. And also you get to read my journal basically. And here we go. Let's do this. I do mention in this episode a couple of things that are linked for the collective members in particular. You will have access to that if you're in the collective, and the doors open on September 5th. You can join us. It's very affordable. It's $39. So affordable. And it's so full of resources. Like, I really just juiced everything out of my mind and gave it to you. Truly. That sounds nasty. It's not. It's actually really, really beautiful and really, really helpful. And the community is so rich and so beautiful. So I recommend joining, again, if you are any kind of creative entrepreneur, particularly an artist or someone that creates products or services like classes and retreats and workshops, that kind of thing. You're going to be in the best community. So come join us. It's great. Okay, without further ado, I am going to click play on this inside look into my goals and aspirations for 2024. Hello, creative friends. Welcome to this conversation on goal setting in August. I like to do a little bit of a goal setting check-in midway through the year, and the summer can be a little bit too noisy and a little bit too hot and a little bit too chaotic and just kind of a different vibe. So the time that I like to do this is when school starts and things have returned to a little bit of normalcy. So that was a couple weeks ago for us, and now I can settle in and be like, okay, what's happening? What do I want for the rest of the year, for the fall, for the holiday season, going into the new year? Just like a little check-in on what's been working, what's been needing to evolve as we've gotten into it. If you haven't done so, I did share my 2024 goals in a video. We'll link that below so you can check that out. But this is a moment that I would encourage you to also come back to your goals that you set at the beginning of the year. Pull out your notebook, see what you've done well. This is a time to celebrate, to be like, okay, I'm doing it, it's working. And if you're setting your goals at the beginning of the year with as much congruence, as much alignment as you can, as much self-understanding as possible, then you might find that your goals unfold a little bit naturally. You're like, yep, I'm doing these things. This is what I do. This is what I should be doing. It's all very, it feels like it belongs to me, right? Like your goals are like, yeah, of course I'm doing that. Of course I'm painting. Of course I'm creating. Of course I'm offering my work at festivals or in galleries or whatever you do. Like, it's like a natural progression. Trying new things, weaving in new things, I think is very, very fun. But I also think it's worth acknowledging that as you get into year 2, year 3, and far beyond in your creative career, you might find that a lot of things become patterns. And you can, of course, evolve the pattern and shift what you're doing, but a lot of things begin to feel like they're yours because they are, which I love. So I went back to my goals that I shared with you at the beginning of the year in the video that we link below. And a lot of them felt like that to me, like, yeah, okay, it's happening. I'm doing it. And that feels really grounding to me. It feels like I know myself. And that I also just had a birthday, so I'm very existential right now. I'm a Leo, an August birthday. So I think anytime this kind of phase of life comes along, like this August season for me, it feels like a time of returning to myself. And I hope that you take that moment also. You don't have to have a birthday right now to do that. It can just be a recentering on you and on your dreams and your aspirations. Now that you might be able to feel what's working and what needs to change. You have been trying things for a few months now. If you set your goals in January, you've had months to practice them, to see how they feel, to see what fits, and to go from there. So that's what today's about. We're going to pull a card. I pulled some cards at the beginning of this, the first video that I linked down below. This is from our affirmation card deck, from the Do It For The Process card deck. One of my goals is to redesign this soon, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But let's pull a deck. These are all very, very beautiful. I have a few of these left if you do want this. I think these are going to go away. I have like this little like, ooh, I want something new. But if you would like these, I adore this deck. I really have found so much grounding and just like chills. I get chills so often with this deck. It's so simple. Each card has an image on the front. They're all different. And then an affirmation on the back, just like the words that you might need to hear today. And they're always a surprise to me. I pull them and I'm like, who wrote that? I'm like, oh, wait. But they're always so beautiful. I'm like, wow, that is what I need to hear today. Okay. So our card for today is this beautiful blue little moment, and it says, I will give my dreams and creativity the attention. I can't read things out loud. I will give my dreams and creativity attention and love. I'll give my dreams and creativity attention and love. What a beautiful thing to be reminded of for the last half of the year also. Because the last half of the year in most of our businesses tends to feel like, okay, we know what we're doing, go do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. The holidays come and suddenly you're on this external pressure timeline where things are not necessarily moving on your internal timeline. You're now meeting the deadlines or the desires of the season, of the people, of the shopping trends, of the whatever. And it can feel a little bit disjointed at times. Don't let it happen to you, but it can. And I think it's a really sweet reminder that we will give our dreams and our creativity attention and love. If you have listened to the goal setting workshop, I'll also link that down below. It's a different thing than what I was talking about earlier. The goal setting workshop helps to recenter the importance of our dreams and our aspirations. It goes dreams, aspirations, goals in the way that I think about setting goals, and the way that I think about creating a beautiful life. Your dreams are the most important thing. I know we're told that they're a little bit silly or like, that's cute, you have a dream, how cute. No, it's not cute at all. It's the most powerful thing in your entire life, to allow yourself to dream, to have a little sparkly like, oh, I want that. Oh, that would be so nice. Or maybe you're living your dreams every day. That's always the goal. But then to turn those into aspirations, like, oh, I want that. Oh, I can do that. Can I do that? Yes, I think I can do that. Setting that as a goal and then beginning to act out that goal. Oh my gosh, if you can do that consistently, you will have the most astounding life. I want to read this one also because I love this card. It's so beautiful. I'm very into blue right now. It's having a comeback in my brain. I have the courage to create good work. I have the courage to create good work. So sweet. Okay, Let's revisit my goals from early in 2024 now that we're into 2024, and I'm going to act them out. I'm going to go a little bit quickly with this because I want to talk about what's ahead, and I want to encourage you to also, again, get out your past notebook and cheer yourself on. Whether you're finding that you haven't met your goals, that's beautiful. That is completely fine with me. If I ever read something on here like, oh, I didn't do that. Don't ever, well, I shouldn't say this. It's very tempting to want to say, I'm failing at that goal. I failed at that goal. So what? That's okay. It's okay. You every day are waking up and making aligned choices. You're doing things that feel congruent. You're doing things that feel like you are progressing in the way that that day asks you to progress. As the days keep rolling along and you don't ever make it to that particular goal, guess what? It's not its time yet. And it will be its time, or that goal wasn't actually for you. Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this in Big Magic, how some things feel like, oh, I love that idea, and you sit with it and it never actually comes out of you. It's just not for you. It went to the next person. That's completely fine. Something else is coming to you. So as you revisit your past goals, and you might be like, okay, well, I wrote down that I wanted to do this and I haven't done it yet. Perfect. You can either choose to recenter that goal, or you can choose to say, okay, Emily, every day I woke up and did what I needed to do. Every day I was the person that I needed to be, and this goal hasn't fit yet, and that is completely fine. I think that it's very tempting to look at others around you and to match up to what they're doing or what you perceive them to be doing, and to begin to feel a lot of, not even imposter syndrome, but lack of self-worth. That can be really, really tempting, just when you look at peers or people that you admire out in the world. Do not do that to yourself by looking at your past goal list and being like, I'm not matching up to my own past goal list. That is a journal entry, baby. That is a planner that you filled out one day. That's nothing. Don't even worry about that. Let it go. Okay. So in the categories that we talked about in the previous linked down below video at the beginning of the year, we talked about personal, lifestyle, business, creative exploration, and then inspiration and clarity. And that is all from this book that you have access to inside of the collective. It is so helpful. Go download this if you want to kind of revisit your goals now. Download this, go through it. It'll be an incredible recentering moment for the next half of the year and into 2025, which is crazy. So I wrote down, I'm working off of this worksheet, which is worksheet number 4. So if you want to kind of see like the format that I'm following, it's in that workbook. Okay, my personal and lifestyle goals were gentle mornings, Mondays mostly off, travel, hobbies that are not work, therapy, prioritizing therapy, bravery, and then I wrote down some words that I wanted to just kind of work on within myself. Bravery, honesty, complete self-acceptance, love, generosity from love. What did that mean? I don't actually remember what that last half meant. I know I had like a very grounded, like, this is what I need, this is what I want, and I hope that it worked for me then. I feel like it's working, whatever that meant. But gentle mornings, yes, 100%. And I'm also shifting a little bit to enjoying mornings more because of that, which I really love. Monday's mostly off. It's Monday today, full transparency, but I do take Mondays very slowly. I do work on Mondays, but it is like special if I do choose to work, or it feels like I'm choosing this. So that I really think that I'm honoring and enjoying a lot. I do work on weekends sometimes, but you know, when you work for yourself, it's all a little bit fluid and a little bit mushy. But what I really mean here is that I'm allowing myself to have a little bit of space that isn't for anybody else. Travel, check, doing that, love it, prioritizing it. Spending money on travel and not on stuff is my favorite thing ever. I have enough stuff. We don't need that anymore. Hobbies that are not work. Am I doing this one? You know, one thing that I would love to reprioritize with this is I think I was an extremely good host in 2023, and the first part of 2024. And I haven't been a very good host this year. I know hosting dinner parties or like events isn't really a hobby, but for me it kind of is. And I really want to recenter that. I've kind of missed it, just kind of energetically didn't fit. And I really want to recenter bringing people into my home and saying like, come here, come. I think it's also a little bit selfish because I want to make these sweet connections with people that are in my city or in my life or that'll travel to me. But I just run out of energy. So my trick for that is to invite them all to my house. Come sit on my living room floor, come sit at my table. I'll make you all a giant meal. And that works great for me. So I think I want to recenter that. I know that isn't really a hobby, but maybe it is for me. I am doing a lot of photography, but that kind of shifts into like what's work and what's not work. I don't know. Okay, anyways, therapy, check, doing it, beautiful. Okay, let's move on to business. I wrote down that I wanted Making Art Work, the launch, to be easeful, easy, gentle, flowy launch. I wanted to grow our launch from the past time we did it, and I wanted my team to feel like they had a lot of flow. I think we did that extremely well. I'm really, really proud of us. We did grow a little bit, and that feels great. I feel very proud of us, but it was a really gentle launch. Like the first few times that I launched Making Art Work, it was really, really stressful, mostly because I was learning something new. Launching a course is hard. There's some content on that. If you want to learn how to launch a course, you can check that out inside of the collective. But it's very, very, very exhausting. And especially if back when I didn't have like the infrastructure or like the ways, the methods, the like all the stuff, it was really, really, really hard. So now it feels like it does get easier each time, which is also practice, but it's still exhausting. And even with the exhaustion that does come with it, I do think that we did a good job. So I'm proud of us. Creativity as a core focus again. Yo, I am doing really well on this one. I'm really, really proud of myself on this one. I, along with my friend Tanya, we've been doing a lot of creative work this summer. We began the project by saying we would do Tanya was going to do an ink creation each day. I was going to do an oil painting each day. Not finished piece, but like progress towards that. And it hasn't been each day, but it's been a lot of days, like a lot of them. And I'm very, very proud of that. So I feel like that feels really good because in 2022, I just didn't have the emotional bandwidth to tap into creativity at the level that I would have preferred. And 2023 was me like learning to ride that bike again, and this year it's working. So I'm like, okay, good. Now my next thing, if I were to like evolve this goal from here, would be to create work that maybe makes me a little bit nervous, that pushes me as an artist a little bit. I can sense that maybe 2025 will be the year that I'm like, okay, can I try some new things? And even if they don't scratch that ego itch of like people like them and buy them or whatever, I like them and I stretched myself through that process. So I don't know, maybe I'll go back to like a class or learn something new. I don't know. I just there's like something stirring in me that's like I want to stretch. I want to be better at this, which is fun. My daughters are also considering going to art school. And I'm like, I'm coming with you. We're all going to art school. Okay, my next business goal was book progress. We're doing it. It is going slowly, but it's happening. This is something that I'm going to give myself like a C, maybe a C+. The book is definitely more progressed than it was at the beginning of the year by quite a lot. Tanya and I met in person. We flowed, we wrote. I went to a writing retreat in LA and like really made substantial progress on it. I have some blocks around it and some coughs. Hold on. I have some blocks around it, but it really is coming along, and I'm really, really quite proud of us. So I'm going to give myself like a solid, like, okay, yes, I could be going faster. I could be doing more. I could be working on the other book. I have 2 books that are coming out of me, hopefully. But anyways, there is progress happening. So I will say good job. Good job. The next thing that I wrote down under business was to launch 5 to 8 collections in this year. And so far I have done 2. 2. Yes. I've launched I called them the Blue Boys. It was the blue botanical pieces that I created at the beginning of the year, or I launched at the beginning of the year. And then the silk scarves. A collection of oil paintings is coming together. It will be coming out soon, but I have more work to do on those for sure. So that's happening, but it's happening. I think that will be coming out in October, and then I'm sure there'll be 2 more. Actually, I know there'll be 2 more in the holiday season. So 5 to 8 feels reasonable and totally doable. And I got this. Remember, creativity is now a core focus, so I can do this. Okay, creative exploration. This one is just like, how is my creative self doing? The business has to, of course, flow and thrive. I need profit to be where it needs to be. I need my business goals to be where they need to be. Myself, the creative human, how can I be healthy and vibrant? Painting, writing, and creative play were what I wrote down for this one. So we already have check, yes. Creative play, I feel like that would be things like natural dyeing, photography. I have a new preset collection that I need to release. It's very beautiful. I use it all the time now. So there's some things that I'm just, doing that I think A+ on that. And then, what is this little box here? Inspiration and clarity are the last section that I'll talk about. Again, we're beginning this whole conversation with, worksheet number 4 under current aspirations. And the last one is inspiration and clarity. And again, I wrote down travel, more reading. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that I wrote that down. I am reading a lot for me. I'm reading a lot. And I'm reading physical books and listening to audiobooks, which is reading, but not reading in the same way. But I'm reading a lot of physical books, and that feels really, really good. Reading a ton of poetry, a lot of fiction. I am in my empathy soaking era, less personal development era, and I'm just really enjoying really, really good fiction right now. And then I also wrote down under this goal, or this aspiration, is intentional sponge sessions. So these are sponge sessions are a silly way of me saying I want to go into nature or not even into nature, but like into the world to intentionally soak, to intentionally gather inspiration and fill my cup so that it can overflow in the studio, it can overflow into my family, it can overflow into my business. Sponge sessions. That could be reading, that could be traveling, that could be going to an art museum, that could be going to an art supply store and being like, oh, what's that? I have to do that. That could be learning from someone new, that could be going to a workshop or a retreat, all these things. So I think I'm doing those really, really well. I want to do more, so I'll just do more of them for the next few months. Beautiful. As far as progressing my goals for the last half of the year, I have a retreat coming up in September that I'm very excited about. That'll be a really good sponge session. Even though I'm leading the retreat, that's definitely a space where I can like both fully give and then also fully receive, which is so precious and sweet. Continue painting. I want to launch a really beautiful collection of paintings. So I'm kind of in that phase now where I'm getting a little bit hypercritical of the work and being like, I can do more, I can do better, which is true. And also these pieces are very, very good and I'm very proud of them. So, both things are true. So that needs to happen. I want and really desire to do a beautiful rebrand of my studio in particular. When I think of the studio, I think of like my art studio and then the educational offerings as 2 separate things. So I want the art side of things to have a rebrand and I can see it in my brain and it's so beautiful. So now I just have to get it out and into reality, and I think it's going to be so special. So I would love for that to happen. I would like to do it myself. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I have these skills. I can do this. And that would be really, really special to me. Along with that, I want to rebrand some different things in my studio, like the affirmation deck, like the candles, like how we style and package and display our prints. Just like the different offerings. I want them to have a slight refresh. It'll still feel like me. Nothing that I'm doing now feels like it doesn't belong to me. I just want to shift and evolve a little bit. And then I want to have a smooth and more well-planned holiday season. Full disclosure, last year, we really did pull it together and make it work, but it did feel a little bit last minute, which, I'm all about rising to the occasion and just swooping in and making things perfect at the final hour. But I don't love doing that, and I do tend to do that. So I think my aspiration might be to give myself a little bit more space to make things a little bit gentler on my personal flow. Sarah, my studio manager, has her own flow. She's working on her own time patterns, so she can do that. But I think for my side of things, I would like to have a little bit more space. So where I have control, I want to give myself a bit more space. So that would be lovely. And then we have a collective launch in just a couple weeks. I want to do that smoothly. I want to give it the space that it deserves, but also make it really gentle. I want to begin to offer new lead magnet, which is just like you're in the collective, a way of gathering people to you based on something free that you offer that's really valuable. I wrote a beautiful booklet on studio safety. If you are an oil painter, go download the booklet. It's free. Please take it, read it. I want you to have a safe, healthy, non-toxic studio. I learned so much while pregnant with my son, who's now almost 7. So, 7.5 years ago, I was hyper fixated on the toxicity of what was happening in my studio and not knowing why my body was reacting to certain things, like everything, and why I was having sore throats and rashes and my skin was itchy and I had horrible headaches. It was just my studio supplies. That's cute. So I cleared that up, changed what I did in the studio, and all that went away. So don't be like me. Be like me of post 2017, where now that never happens anymore. So go download that if you are an oil painter in particular, or really any painter, because it'll help you just understand the toxins in your studio and how to use them and how to be safe around them. But that would be important to, anyways, that's a lead generator that I want to, I already created it. I want to offer it beautifully and, get that out into the world. We also are refocusing on the artist path to success this fall, because the artist path to success is admittedly one of the best things that I've ever created in my entire life. And I don't really talk about it very often. That's so silly. It's so silly. I know it is so very rich and full and good and empathetic and guiding, and I kind of forget to bring it up. So I'm going to be bringing it up more this fall and really refocusing on that, because I do think it's very, very important and I'm very proud of it. So you'll be hearing about that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's kind of all over the collective, but go take the quiz or go download the book. The book is what I would recommend sitting with and really sinking into. It's so beautiful. So those are my goals. I don't have a lot of travel planned for the last half of the year. Again, we're going to the retreat in Joshua Tree. I'll be going there. And beyond that, I think I'm going to save some travel for 2025 when I do have some aspirations around that. I want to take my kids somewhere new, and I want to go to Mexico City. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that would be just, I can feel it calling to me in a way that I'm like, okay, I'm going to prioritize that. I'm going to listen to that. So we'll see what happens from that, but I am excited about it. Okay, this is your reminder. Go back to your goals. See what you have been doing well. It was really fun to read through mine. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. It felt like so gratifying to come back to these goals and to say, yes, they were aligned, they worked, they're happening, which means that they were aligned. And I think if you can find that in your goals, beautiful. If you read your goals and you're like, I'm not doing any of these things, again, That means you weren't supposed to, and now you know yourself better, so there's no shame in that. If you get back to those goals and you're like, oh, I do want that, then this is your little reminder to recenter it, to weave it back into your priorities in each day. I think that's an important little, moment to be like, oh yeah, I did want to post on TikTok. I did want to learn how to do Lightroom editing. I did want to take that class. I did want to go to a retreat. I did want to create this product. This is your reminder. August is a great time to have those reminders. We have months left in the year, months left beyond the year even rolls over. We begin a new year. That's fine. You can create some absolute magic in this year, which is so beautiful. Okay, I'm cheering you on. I hope you enjoyed this little look inside my business, little gossip session. And it was sweet to get to sit with my goals and to share them with you. And I hope they encouraged you. All right, bye for now. I hope you enjoyed that very special look behind the scenes in my studio, my business, inside of my thought processes around goal setting and creativity and running a creative business. Because when you run a creative business, all of your goals have to come back to you, the human, to your energy, to your enjoyment of this thing. Otherwise, you'll burn out, you'll get very tired, you'll stop doing this creative work, you won't find the pleasure and satisfaction that you really need to create beautiful, long-lasting creative work in a creative career. So all of it's very, very important. And I hope that you enjoyed seeing inside of how I think about this and how I do this inside of my own life and inside of my own business. As I said, the collective is open for enrollment in early September, so mark your calendars. I'd love to see you in there. It is the most affordable thing that I offer the creative community, and it is so full of content, even more dynamic and pointed and thoughtful and specific. This is a kind of an open-ended conversation that I just gave as a little update inside of my studio. Part of what we do in the collective is varying forms of content along these lines. There are trainings, there are behind the scenes content, which would be kind of like this style. There are guest expert interviews with people that you definitely know and love and admire and respect. There are live coaching workshops, live Q&As. There are resources galore. There are quick wins. So quick wins are things like, hey, let's do an Instagram reel in this way together this week, or let's work on our Dropbox organization, or quick win is something that's nice and actionable and fast and keeps you progressing inside of your business. There is a lot in the collective, as I keep saying. There's so much. Join us. It's awesome. You can leave anytime. There are no strings attached. I'm not going to be like, oh no. We all flow. We all are here for the season that we need to be here. And I, of course, never want to see anyone leave. But I'm never going to be like, how dare you? This is yours to take and use as you need to. And I hope that it serves you for as long as it needs to serve you. So come and join us for a month. Maybe you want to stay longer than that. Maybe you just want to try it out for a month. Either way, no big deal. $39. It's nice and simple and beautiful and so easy. Doors open very, very soon. So check out the website, emilyjeffordslearn.com. It's beautiful and very inspiring also. I can't wait to be back in this space with you. I love this podcast. It's so sweet, but it is weird. Talking to myself is weird. So if you have feedback, send me a DM, send me a review of this podcast. I read them all. One of them made me cry last week. It was so sweet and beautiful. I really enjoy hearing from you because talking to myself is just fine. It's fine. But hearing from you is delightful, and it makes it feel like this is worth it and this is touching you and really. On that note, I want to give a shout out to the people that came by my booth at the Indie Craft Parade this past weekend. I did an art show, craft show this past weekend, and we had a beautiful booth. Oh, check it out on Instagram. It was so, so, so beautiful. And the show was so full. It was hopping. It was such a good energy in the room. Thank you all for showing up. To those of you that walked up to my booth and saw the Do for the Process affirmation deck and were like, wait, Do for the Process, the podcast? You all made my day. That was so cool. The fact that this podcast has reached people that don't even really know about my art, They didn't walk up expecting to see me or know me. They saw the brand. They saw the Do It For The Process deck or the notepad that was right out, in the front of the display. And they were like, the podcast? And I'm like, yes, it's me. And they were like, you're Emily. And I'm like, yes, I am. It was so cute. It was so, so, so cute. One lady closed her eyes and she was like, just talk for a minute. I'm like, oh, okay, I will talk for a minute. Hi. So it was cute. It was fun. It was a little silly. You all made my day, and that is really special that this little thing that I do gets to reach you, and it's humbling and beautiful. So thank you for giving me that space. I'll be sharing a little bit more about that show, that event inside of the collective, because it was absolutely incredible. And my studio manager, Sarah, put together the most beautiful booth display that is simple to assemble. We can talk about inventory, we can talk about marketing, we can talk about drawing people into your booths and different techniques and methods that we used this time that really, really worked. So I'll share all of that inside of the collective if you're like, wait, I need tips on booth setups and displays and just live events. Live events are so fun. They're so full of energy, and I think they really do give you some extra good juice that you do kind of miss with online sales. I love my online sales. Do not get me wrong. Please buy from my online shop. I love it very, very, very much. But meeting people in person is very cool. So those of you that made the effort to come out and brought your warm energy into the room, you were so sweet to me. I loved it so much. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for holding my goals and my aspirations with your open hands. And I love getting to be a human in front of you and with you and alongside you. And I love watching you thrive in your creative work. It means so much to me. Leave a review, leave a rating of this show if you would. Like I said, I really do read them and they make this feel worth it. So thank you for that. And I'll be back next time. Bye for now.